Today at 6:43 in the morning. If you are making your way down Southmost and International Boulevard in Brownsville, you may notice a new look at the bus stops. Local 23, Xochitl Lagunas joins us to share more about it. Good morning, Xochitl.
Yes, good morning. Now, there are 8 bus stops along Brownsville, Southmost, and International Boulevard that have been renovated with shelters to help keep passengers protected from the weather. I did speak with Jenny Garcia, who's the Assistant Director for Brownsville's Multimodal Transportation Department, and she says the shelters help give passengers a better experience while using public transportation. The goal is for all routes to get the updated look, but right now it's only available along 2 of them.
It's just mainly through our Route 6 and Route 7 that you'll be able to see these new shelters. This is a local need and expressing citizens and something that we've been planning for.
Garcia says the Transportation Department hopes to install 25 additional bus shelters in the future. And of course, we will be sharing this story up on our website, valleycentral.com. Putting local first, Xochitl Lagunas.
Courtyard and Marriott South Padre.
These live segments as much as possible. What I'm going to ask for my community is very simple. Once this feed is broadcasted, you're able to send me stars, and this stars eventually gets transitioned into quarters or money. And once again, it's a great way it's to incentivize the Good Morning Brownsville content. So if you could do me a small favor, and again, I'll never ask my community for anything except for maybe some food from time to time. But if you could click on Send Stars, it's going to appear on the Frankie Olivo page, the OnlyFans page, and also on the on the Frankie Olivo and the Olivo Frankie page. So again, Good Morning Brownsville has reached a historic landmark. We're finally able to monetize the content that we produce. And we have always done everything possible to make sure that we keep our community in tune with what is going on in our local area. So once again, I'm asking for a small favor. We finally reached a great level in the success here of Good Morning Brownsville. And this is all because of my community. Thank you so much. So again, if you could help me by simply sending me stars on Frankie Olivo and Olivo Frankie page, I will. It's the Olivo Frankie page. My friends are already asking me. So once again, I muchly appreciate it. There's a great way for me to stay motivated, and my community always does a great job of sending me beautiful comments, encouraging words. But a little star here will do the trick even more. And now the reason why y'all are here for the weather. Now, this is our 2-city stop in the Good Morning Brownsville tour. We start off in the great city of South Padre Island for Monday and Wednesday segment. Today we find ourselves in the great city of H-Town, baby, chopped and screwed. We hope to continue this Good Morning Brownsville tour in other respective cities. We have been hearing about people wanting us to go to Corpus and to San Antonio. So as soon as we get an invitation from our friends to extend the Good Morning Brownsville tour, we will go. We will be in a city near you. But of course, our heart and our minds will always be in the great city of Brownsville. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I should be back in the studio possibly Monday, but if not, I will continue to produce the content as much as possible. And now we should, and again, the way the weather has been going as of late, we don't really know what will be transpiring, but it has been a while since we have gotten a hurricane, some serious rain in our area. And the Colorado State University, they did have some projections for this 22 hurricane season forecast. And the way it works is they don't really tell us where. They don't have the ability to tell us where these hurricanes will land. But we do see that there will be an increase of tropical storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes. And for the forecast, as we've seen in previous years, is that now it has increased in regards to the tropical storms compared to previous years. Now, the interesting thing is that season is September the 10th. So we have about 25 days more or less for us to get to see rain in the local area. We have 86% chance of what is happening, but we will try and see where this will land. So again, we have about a month left to be able to see if our local area will get rain. And the interesting thing is the canicula, so to speak. There is a change during this time of year within the weather, when the warm meets the cold, frigid waters, and that is what causes hurricanes. On this graph that is posted on the screen, the dark pink is a higher probability of us receiving large amounts of rain. And again, that canicula this summer, La Nina, it has been more active as of late. This could only lead us to believe that we are set for a hurricane in the near future. Again, it's been a while. I can't even remember the last time we've had rain. But thank you so much. Sorry again. It is an ongoing issue with the technology, especially being out on the road. But thank you so much for the feedback. I hope the sound is better. If not, please let me know. Thank you so much, Mr. Perez and Mr. Castro, for making sure that you let me know the quality of our content. Now, much has been said about my body, my choice. Recently, everybody has been questioning the decision by the Supreme Court justices, which overturned Roe versus Wade. And many were outraged at the fact of knowing that women won't be able to dictate what happens to their body. Well, on Tuesday, we're not in Kansas anymore. The state of Kansas did reject an amendment that would allow for the legislator to ban the abortion rights for the females. And the interesting thing about this is that this has been a major topic as of late. As we all know, we all have the need for us to have certain unalienable rights. If we look back at the drafting of the Constitution, our founding fathers wanted us to have the ability to the ability to reach and have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And one would think that the right of dictating what a man or woman does with their body is totally up to them. Well, will this lead us? Will this vote for Kansas, will this lead us to see other states to go in this direction? Again, the Roe versus Wade overturn by the Supreme Court, it gave the power back to the states. Each individual state will have the ability to either allow or deny abortion. Here, Texas being a predominantly conservative state, we don't feel that as if this will be given the opportunity. The voters will be given an opportunity to do so, just like Kansas. But anything is possible. We see how Kansas, during this previous election in 2020, voted predominantly red. And one would think, conservatives, red, Republicans, there's no way that they're going to allow abortion to take place. Well, Kansas was that, or is that state. So it's going to be interesting to note, are other states going to venture in this way in giving the voters the opportunity to decide whether they're going to be allowing their females, their women to dictate my body, my choice, whether they have the option. And life is all about options. So again, we're not in Kansas anymore. The voters did vote no. So this allow women the opportunity to they themselves have or dictate what will happen. What will happen with their body. Now, for the longest time, the Rio Grande Valley has been given a certain stigma that there is no opportunity here in our local area. And Texas Monthly did produce an article which stated that the Rio Grande Valley, and more in particular, McAllen and Brownsville, are one of the poorest areas in the nation. And it's sad to report that McAllen and Brownsville, they occupy the number 1 and 2 slots for the data that was collected for the United States Census Bureau back in 2011, which is produced every 10 years. And while it is shameful to note that here in our local area we have not given our constituents any sort of economic development in our area. It was sad to view on the tube how a welder's position here in the city of Brownsville, they were offering $12 to $16, and many individuals have argued, hey, individuals at Bill Miller's in San Antonio, employees at Burger King, McDonald's, the starting pay is anywhere from $15 to $17. Management is up in the closer to $20, and that's in the air, inside in the aircon. And many individuals have questioned, well, why don't we have that opportunity here? What have our local elected officials done in our local area since this report back in 2011 was published? What have we seen in the past 10 years from our local elected officials? Have we seen economic development? Have we seen jobs being created here in the city of Brownsville? As we all know, PUB and BISD are one of the 2 largest employer within the city. After that, it's kind of hard to differentiate. But the only thing right now that we have to save grace in the city of Brownsville is Starbase. And many politicos have been hanging their hat on this notion that Starbase is going to be what is going to revitalize and change the city of Brownsville. That is what we have been hanging our hat on. The interesting thing was that these politicos, they always talk about SpaceX like they are the ones that brought this to our local area. Let us not forget that in 2013, 2014, the reasons why Elon Musk and SpaceX is in Boca Chica is because geographically that area is perfect. Besides Florida and besides the location in Australia, in order for space exploration to take place, they noticed that this area in Boca Chica was ideal for them. So our politicos really didn't bring this attraction to the citizens of Brownsville. Said, "Aha, this is what is going to cause our area to flourish economically." Have we seen that in the past 10 years? Now, we are all in support of SpaceX. There are some issues that we'd like to fine tune in regards to the MOU, the closure of the beach, and having access for our local fishermen and our local residents. But nonetheless, has our local area been given to our constituents? Is there jobs galore where our children, those that are out of high school, those that do have to seek other opportunities in the cities of San Antonio, San Marcos, Houston, because there is no opportunity here. So again, it was very sad to see how a welder, a profession that my grandfather retired in back 15 years ago, and he did state, "Oh, welding was the ultimate." Why? Because you were a skilled labor and you got paid over $20. That was the thing. Now, individuals are getting paid $12, max $16. Now, we do understand that this is a workforce job listing, and many, jobs within workforce is not really lucrative. We do understand that. And, those that don't have jobs, we're not able to pick what we want. There's this saying, beggars can be choosers. But nonetheless, are we providing our local constituents with opportunities here in our local area? Or is it sad to report that la económica aquí, en esta área, está cañón? What has happened in the city of Brownsville? Have our local elected officials given the residents, the citizens of Brownsville, or let's go even more deeper, have they provided their city employees with opportunities? Have they incentivized them and said, "You know what, we appreciate you. We're going to show you not only through our words, but through our actions." What have our local elected officials done in the city of Brownsville? Have they focused all their resources to provide jobs? Now, the only things that have been coming down here is Paragon, space exploration jobs, which don't really give the community an 8 to 5. Now, again, this whole space exploration thing, it is going to take 20 years, 30 years, 50 years in order to really solidify itself. But what have our local elected officials done for the city of Brownsville? Well, we just got word that there is a driver shortage of bus drivers in the city of Brownsville. The pay is $13, $13.80. Now, again, inflation. Times are different. We need to do a better job of providing our constituents, our employees, with the opportunity to make a good living. What has happened in the city of Brownsville? Well, we're having trouble finding drivers because we do not pay them adequately. They are starting to cancel bus trips because there are no drivers. Nobody wants to work because of the low pay. What have we seen from Cameron County? Cameron County that has a budget of close to $1 million in its coffers. What have we seen from the county? Well, we recently got word that they are in the hole $5 million, $5.3 million in the deficit. Now, again, what have our local elected officials done since 2011 when that report that's singled out McAllen and Brownsville as being one of the poorest areas in the country, 1 and 2? What have our local elected officials done recently to provide jobs, to provide economic opportunity? It seems as if every commissioner, whether that be at the city or the county, they all have their pet projects. And when it comes to the nitty-gritty to provide pay raises for its employees at the county and the bus drivers in the city of Brownsville, it seems as if that is not their priority. They all have their pet projects. And instead of compensating our employees, we tend to mismanage our money, such as Cameron County with over $5 million in the deficit, and also for the city of Brownsville, not providing their bus drivers with adequate pay. I ask you again, individuals will come and ask for your vote in November. What will they have to show for it? Are you going to be voting for them because they're Democrat or because they're incumbents. Einstein said it best. If we keep on doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that is the definition of insanity. Are we going to allow our incumbents the opportunity to mismanage another $5 million? Do we want to be in the whole $10 million? We all know the answer to that. But it is important to note and to ask these elected officials, what have you done since you've been in office? Have you brought jobs to our local area? Or are you simply getting fat on the tit? Now, we have been seeing a large amounts of pictures being taken as of late of Brownsville residents being out in the hot sun for a bus trip. It is sad to report on that we have been receiving a lot of pictures and videos of residents of all ages being out in the hot sun, which leads us to question what happened to the bus shelters, the bus stop shelters that were promised by our elected officials. And who could forget back in February, we did get an idea of what was to come. Again, we are in August, so we are 6 months away from this publication, where it stated and it showed us how the Brownsville bus stop and the metro system would be more adequately prepared to provide its residents with shelter and even a way to charge your phone. And back in February, it was exciting to note how our residents should be expecting shade. The horrid heat that we've been feeling nowadays, could lead one to have a heat stroke. Here in the Rio Grande Valley in Brownsville, Texas, we have been reaching the high 90s and in some days triple digits. You and I can agree that this is definitely a necessity in our city. We have seen how two locations on South Padre Island and International Boulevard, right next to the Brownsville Coffee Shop, and across the street, right next to the Burger King on International, have seen these bus stops. And the assistant director of transportation did state that over, in 6 months, in a year, that they were going to have over 30 or 40 bus stop shelters. But have we seen this lately? Have we seen the bus stop shelters in our local area? And again, they're supposed to be equipped with USB imports, which would allow our residents to charge their phones. And the interesting thing about this is that in every big metropolitan city, the metro system, they have an app and here in South Padre Island, it's fun because the island metro, you're able to flag it, you're able to see its location, and if you're lucky enough, all you just have to do is just stand outside, raise your hand, and you get a free bus trip. But the use of technology is very important, especially while using the metro system. And we welcome and we're excited to learn that the Brownsville bus stops will be having this USB ports to be able to charge up your phones. Again, our world revolves around our phone, but it is important for us to monitor and locate the different routes that the bus takes. But again, what have we seen from our local elected officials? Have we seen them to have a rush in our local area? Again, Max, we were promised 38 bus stops within 1 year. And this was stated in February of this year, 2022. We're already 6 months in. Are we going to see a large increase of bus stop shelters being established for our city within 6 months? And if they've only done 2 in 6 months, what leads us to believe that they're going to do the rest? And again, it hurts us, it pains us to see our residents out in the scorching heat. And I did get a comment that I do want to talk about today. Somebody messaged me and said, "Take that picture down from your feed. You're poking fun at our residents who don't have the fortune of having wheels to go around. You should be ashamed of yourself. Take off that picture." And I responded and said, Thank you for your feedback. But what we should do is be questioning our city elected officials. Don't be mad at me for showing our community of what our residents are going through. We should towards that anger, focus that attention on our local elected officials at the city level. Why don't we ask our mayor? Why don't we ask our elected officials on the commission? What is the status of these bus stops? And again, this was a grant of $350,000. Could this be a delay in money that they have not received the funds yet? Is it still in the process? Is it still an ongoing issue where they should be supplying the city with over 40 bus stops? And again, it is always shoot the messenger. They always try to attack the individual that's bringing to light certain issues. But again, I ask you, how would you like for your son, daughter, loved one to be out in 100-degree heat? And as we all know, if it reads 90, it feels like 104. The cement, the concrete is even more hotter than what the thermostat dictates. But again, I ask you, doesn't this tick you off? Doesn't this touch a nerve and say, this is unacceptable? We should not allow our residents to do so. Again, great things are happening in the city of Brownsville. That's all we hear from our local elected officials. Is it really? Is this what we see in a large metropolitan area? Is this what we hang our hat on and say, hey, look what we're providing our residents? A big old middle finger and figure it out. Again, the city of Brownsville did promise close to 40 bus stop shelters to be developed in the city by February of 2023. We are 6 months from that announcement. And what have we seen as of late? Have you seen bus stop shelters? Have you seen individuals who have the luxury and opportunity to sit in the shade and wait for transportation? And many individuals say, I don't use the bus stop. Why should I care? Again, many individuals don't have the luxury of having wheels. These individuals depend heavily on our metro bus system. Why? Because that's how they go to work. That's how they go to church. That's how they go to our local HEBs, our local mom and pop stores. They're not able to afford a payment of $300, $400, $500 on a car. So the resort is using the metro system. But what have we seen from our local elected officials? Have they provided our constituents, our residents, with this luxury of a bus stop shelter? And let's go even further. Now we don't have the drivers. First, we don't have the bus stop shelters, for God's sakes. And now our my grandparents, my loved ones, they're out in the scorching heat, 100-degree weather, and now they don't have nobody to pick them up. Great things are happening in the city of Brownsville, but unfortunately, the only thing great that is happening is for our local elected officials. If you're not in that circle, if you're not close to, or if you don't run elbows with these individuals, you don't matter. Whatever our local elected officials done here in the city of Brownsville, all they've done is promises. But wait, once election comes, they start having photo ops and look at me, I'm doing great things. When it comes down to it, to the nitty gritty, they are nowhere to be found. Whatever our local elected officials done here for the city of Brownsville, we are waiting for 30, close to 40 bus stop shelters. All we've seen is 2. What is the delay? Does it tick you off to see individuals having to resort to the heat, having to stay? And again, don't get mad at me for showing these pictures. Be mad at your local elected officials who are not doing everything possible to make sure that our residents have the resources and opportunities available to them to be able to make an honest living, to be able to go to the food store, food market, to get the essentials. Don't be mad at me when I show these pictures of our residents in the hot heat, who some could lead to a heat stroke. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at our local elected officials for not doing more for our local area. And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. Kansas voters on Tuesday did vote no, giving leading to females in that state to have a choice, my body, my choice. After the overturn of Roe versus Wade, each state is now in charge of allowing their residents uh, to vote on this. The two bus stops, as of right now, Max, is on International. One is right next to. Let me bring it up. Sorry, one is right next to Brownsville Coffee Shop, on right next to La Famosa, right next to Southmost on International, and the other one is right across the street. Right across the street. This is next to the Burger King. I don't know if you can make it out. The Burger King is on the back left. So these bus stop shelters are right in front of each other. One next to Brownsville Coffee Shop, and the other one, Max, next to Burger King. So again, we are waiting. We are waiting for 40. The assistant director of transportation did state that the city of Brownsville, after receiving a grant of $350,000, will be supplying the city with 40 bus stop shelters. As of right now, we'll only have 2 in 6 months. Are we going to see a revamp of these bus stop shelters being produced at a rapid pace? We hope so. The deadline the deadline was given of February 2023, when we should see these bus stop shelters throughout the city, but we have yet to see them there. Hey, Zudi, thank you for you tuning in. I'm gonna need your help, Zudi. Now you're able to assist me in sending me stars on the Frankie Olivo page and the Olivo Frankie page. And the way it works is Facebook finally chose us to monetize on the content that we produce. And there's a great way for myself to stay motivated. And I find great pleasure in providing my community with the latest information. But there's a great way for me to wake up 2 hours more and give you the best show possible. So I'm going to need your help, Suri. I know I can count on you. Thank you so much. And sending stars is free. Sending stars is kind of like sending a like to individuals. Thank you so much. Go Baylor Bears, baby. Thank you so much. I didn't see the publish on the screen. I'm still working on it. But thank you for sending me some stars. Again, we're not in Kansas anymore. The state chose to allow women the choice for their body, their choice. And now the weather. We should be seeing an increase in tropical storms, hurricanes being formed in the Gulf, being formed in the Atlantic. It is interesting. It is interesting to note that we should be receiving a large more rain, and September the 10th is when we should be out of the threat of having a hurricane. So we still have a lot of time. We are bound to get some sort of water soon. Esta Cañon, la situación económica. Aquí, what we have seen is that welders are being offered a job for $12. Back in the day, it was a skilled labor job where many individuals were earning $20+. It's sad to report that the city of Brownsville was ranked one of the poorest cities in our area in South Texas in the United States. Go figure, along with McAllen, back in the 2011 U.S. Census. What have we seen from 10 years? Have our local elected officials run jobs galore, have provided economic opportunity for you and I and for the next generation? What have we seen from our local elected officials? Mismanagement from the Cameron County level. Here at the city, they can't even pay their bus drivers. They have a shortage of bus drivers. The bus drivers are on strike. It's not worth it. We are in a dire need of economic opportunity here in the city of Brownsville. All we've seen from our local elected officials is the only ones that have been benefiting during these 10 years is they themselves and their families. And ain't that the truth? And where are those bus stop shelters that the city promised? Back in February of this year of 2022, we got word from the assistant transportation director that stated that the city of Brownsville will be having 40 bus stop shelters within city limits. It angers us because we don't see a need or a rush from our local elected officials to provide this necessity. Again, we're living in a times where it's scorching hot. triple digits sometimes. And it pains us to see our community be out in the scorching heat without any bus stop shelters. Again, individuals don't have the luxury of having cars. They can't afford the note. They need the bus. Why? Because they need to go get groceries. They need to go to their doctor's appointments, and they need a trip to work. What are our local elected officials done? Where are those bus stop shelters that we were promised? Only time will tell, I guess. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. It is Friday, August the 5th, 7:37 a.m. Houston, Texas, the last stop of the two-city tour for Good Morning Brownsville. We hope to expand the tour to more cities. We have been hearing the need for our friends to stop in Corpus, Chilo, and San Antonio, Warley, both Erics and Gnarly, to stop in their respective cities. But our heart and our minds will always be in the city of Brownsville. But we're giving an opportunity to go to other cities and talk about hopefully the good things that we have here in the city. Unfortunately, that has not been working out for our local elected officials. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Hope to see you here on Monday. God bless.